Hi, friends. Hi. We are here to do the very last chapter of Because of Winn-Dixie, chapter 26. I do have my two devices going, so I will be looking both ways. I'm super excited to read our last chapter, but also very sad because our story is finished. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. In the last chapter, we read how Winn-Dixie was actually at Gloria Dumps the whole time, hiding underneath the bed, and they had found him. So that ended very, very well, and I'm glad that he was there the whole time. So let's finish up our story, chapter 26. And also at the end, Opal headed out and nobody heard her say anything. She said, "I'll be back in a minute," I said, but they were all singing now and laughing. And Winn-Dixie was snoring, so no one heard me. We were wondering at the end maybe where Opal had gone off to while Otis was playing his guitar for everyone and everyone was singing along. So let's see if we can find her. Chapter 26. Outside, the rain had stopped and the clouds had gone away, and the sky was so clear it seemed like I could see every star ever made. I walked all the way to the back of Gloria Dump's yard. I walked back there and looked at her mistake tree. The bottles were quiet, there wasn't a breeze, so they were just hanging there. I looked at the tree and then I looked up at the sky. "Mama," I said, just like she was standing right beside me, "I know 10 things about you." And that's not enough. That's not near enough. But Daddy is going to tell me more. I know he will, now that he knows you're not coming back. He misses you, and I miss you, but my heart doesn't feel empty anymore. It's full all the way up. I'll still think about you, I promise, but probably not as much as I did this summer. That's what I said that night underneath Gloria Dump's mistake tree. And after I was done saying it, I stood just staring up at the sky, looking at the constellations and planets. And then I remembered my own tree, the one Gloria helped me plant. I hadn't looked at it for a long time. I went crawling around on my hands and knees, searching for it. And when I found it, I was surprised at how much it had grown. It was still small. It looked more like a plant than a tree. But the leaves and the branches felt real strong and good and right. And I was down there on my knees when I heard a voice say, "Are you praying?" I looked up. It was Dunlap. "No," I said. "I'm not praying. I'm thinking." He crossed his arms and looked down at me. What about?" he asked. "All kinds of different things," I said. "I'm sorry that I called you and Stevie bald-headed babies." "That's all right," he said. "Gloria told me to come out here and get you." "I told you she wasn't a witch." "I know it," he said. "I knew it all along. I was just teasing you." "Oh," I said. I looked at him close. It was hard to see him good in the dark yard. "Ain't you ever going to stand up?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. And then he surprised me. He did something never in a million years thought a Dewberry Boy would do. He held out his hand to help me up. And I took it. I let him pull me to my feet. "I'll race you back to the house," Dunlap said, and he started to run. "Okay," I shouted, "but I'm warning you, I'm fast." We ran, and I beat him. I touched the corner of Gloria Dump's house right before he did. "You shouldn't be running around in the dark," said Amanda. She was standing on the porch looking at us. "You could trip over something." "Aw, Amanda," said Dunlap, and he shook his head. "Aw, Amanda," I said too. And then I remembered Carson, and I felt bad for her. I went up on the porch and took hold of her hand and pulled on her. "Come on," I said. "Let's go inside." "India Opal," Daddy said when me and Amanda and Dunlap walked in. Are you here to sing some songs with us? Yes, sir, I said. Only I don't know that many songs. We'll teach you, he said. He smiled at me real big. It was a good thing to see. That's right, said Gloria Dump. We will. Sweetie Pie was still sitting in her lap, but her eyes were closed. Care for a litmus lozenge? Miss Franny asked, passing me the bowl. Thank you, I told her. I took a litmus lozenge and unwrapped it and put it in my mouth. Do you want a pickle? Otis asked, holding up his big jar of pickles. No, thank you, I said. Not right now. Winn-Dixie came out from underneath Gloria Dump's chair. He sat down next to me and leaned into me, the same as I was leaning into my daddy. And Amanda stood right there beside me, and when I looked over at her, she didn't look pinch-faced at all to me. Dunlap cracked his knuckles and said, Well, are we gonna sing or what? Yeah, Stevie echoed. Are we gonna sing or what? Let's sing, said Sweetie Pie, opening her eyes and sitting up straight. Let's sing for the dog. Otis laughed and strummed his guitar, and the flavor of the litmus lozenge opened in my mouth like a flower blooming, all sweet and sad. And then Otis and Gloria, and Stevie and Miss Franny, and Dunlap and Amanda, and Sweetie Pie and my daddy all started to sing along. And I listened careful so I could learn it right. The end. Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. One of my favorite stories. I read it every year to my third graders. What I'd like you to think about over the next few days is maybe what you learned from this story. We call that the theme or the moral or the lesson. Something that you can take from this book. Something that you could practice in your own life. Something that you actually learned and you can put into your own practice in life. We call that a life lesson, okay? And that's something that maybe you could think about. I did assign a little activity for you to do for our Google meeting this week. Our meeting this week will be on Friday instead of Thursday. I have separated it into 2 sessions. The 1 o'clock session will be for the girls, and the 2 o'clock meeting will be for the boys. And I just asked that you could bring something that goes along with the book. So you could bring something that describes the theme or the life lesson that you learned. Theme, moral, they all mean the same thing. You could bring your favorite part. You could bring a summary. You could bring the most important parts. Anything you want that relates to the book. You can write it. You could draw it. You can just talk about it. And if you're not comfortable sharing, that's okay too. You can just come to listen and hang out with us. That's totally fine with me. I also will let you and encourage you to join me with bringing some snacks, because we also had a celebration planned for in class for celebrating Winn-Dixie. And what we had planned was to have the sandwiches, little triangle sandwiches, either egg salad or peanut butter and jelly, but we had an allergy in our class, so we were just going to have triangle jelly sandwiches. But you're at home, so if you want egg salad and PB&J, you could bring those. We had hard candy on our menu for litmus lozenges. We had animal crackers on our menu for Gertrude's Pets. And we had fruit punch on our menu for Dump Punch, which they had at the party. And of course, we had pickles on our menu for Otis's Pickles. So if you wanted to make yourself a little snack plate for Friday's meeting, you could do that as part of our sharing and as part of our little celebration that we'll have on Friday. One other thing, I did send to Mom and Dad a little link It's a little celebration that they're offering at a library in Minnesota. It's on Facebook and it's on May 18th. And if you could mark your calendars, I think it'll be really cool. They're going to be playing some music. They're going to have all of the food out, and they tell you to bring the menu that I'm telling you could bring on Friday. But I think it'll be really neat what they're offering you, and they're doing their whole little Winn-Dixie celebration at this library to celebrate this book. And they don't always do this. This is the book that they chose this year to actually showcase this year for this celebration and distance learning, because they know kiddos aren't in the classroom. So I came across it. I thought it would be really neat if your parents have a Facebook account. You could ask them to maybe log you in underneath them, like the page. I sent them the link, and you can hop on there at the time that it gives them on May 18th to check out this little celebration. And it's not long. I think it's less than an hour, and you can log in, log off whenever you'd like, and just check it out, okay? In addition to that, I also sent them a link for a book chat with Kate DiCamillo. They haven't set, I think they did set the date, but there's more information to follow on what's going to be happening with that book chat. So I thought that would also be neat, something you could participate in also. It's really neat that this is happening all at the time that we're reading this and that we're doing this distance learning right now, so that they have all of these activities for you to participate in. So if you're interested, it's optional, but it's really neat that they have all these options out there for you. I know I'm giving you a lot right now, but I hope you enjoyed the story. And I did tell you I was going to show you this. This is on Google Classroom. It is something that I posted maybe a week or two ago. If your character trait mini book is complete, you could hop into this. This is something we would have been working on in Reader's Workshop, and I encourage you to maybe work on it as you read some of your books independently. Our goal is to keep you reading. My goal is to keep you reading 30 minutes every day, just like we would for homework every day. And this little packet, it'll take you some time to complete, and it's your reading assignment. So that's why I haven't posted a whole bunch of reading assignments, because I know you have this to work on. And in science, I'm posting a lot of reading in science, so that also carries over. So what it is it's an example of what we would do in Winn-Dixie, okay? Something that we would practice in our mini lesson, okay? I would show you how to complete this and what we would practice in because of Winn-Dixie. And then on the next page is the exact same page blank for you to practice in your own book when I would send you off to read during workshop. So you would do a little reading in your book during workshop, and then your after reading phase would be practicing what we practiced, okay? And you could do 1 page a day, okay? That's all I would ask you to do. And then the next day, there's another practice. Actually, these are character traits. Those are what I showed you already, okay? And then on the next page, it gives you a little character trait practice. It describes Opal with her traits. It describes Opal as courageous, okay? This is what we would practice together, okay, on another day during workshop. Then you flip it, and it's a blank page. You would pick your own character from your own book, list some character traits about your character from your own book, and then try it again, supporting it with evidence from your own book, okay? You'd read from your own book, read, like we would in Reader's Workshop, and then after, you'd practice just like we did in our mini lesson. You'd practice on your blank sheet, okay? And it continues just like that with different activities, more character traits, okay? This is in Google Classroom underneath reading. It will take you some time to complete, okay? Maybe 1 page a day. So I don't expect you to hand it in right away, okay? If your character mini book is done, you could hop into this, all right? So I don't, like I said, don't post a whole bunch in reading because I know you have this packet to do and I know it'll take you a little bit of time. And science has a bunch of reading activities with fossils and dinosaurs in it. So we're kind of double dipping. Science has got some reading in it, and this is a kind of a unit that we would be working on in Reader's Workshop. So I don't want to overload you, okay? I think that's it. We got some stuff we could do in Friday's Google meeting. Bring your snacks if you'd like. Bring something to share that you love about Winn-Dixie. Mom and Dad got the links for some more awesome activities for Winn-Dixie on Facebook and a book chat with Kate DiCamillo. And this guy is on Google Classroom. Some of you may already be working on it. Jump into it if you haven't started. I think that's it. I hope you loved the book as much as I did. Your questions, your vocabulary are also in Google Classroom for you to work on for the end of the book. I think that's it. Stay tuned for our next read aloud. We'll start maybe next week after we wrap up all of our Winn-Dixie activities and assignments that we have posted, okay? Miss you guys. See you soon. Keep smiling. Bye.